No, I'm just laughing because I
can tell. You get a little sparkle in your eye.
no, I want to say
when you're
first
about
of
to tell a
all,
joke. Good morning. Hello.
well, yes, of course, good morning. But I feel like I sometimes I feel like I take people for granted, and I really feel like I've been taking Rick for granted. So I wanted to say on the podcast,
Aww.
Rick, how much we love you and how much you've done for us, and we just think the world of you. And sometimes I forget to tell you that because we're all so busy.
Yeah, last week was nuts
So,
trying to get that podcast episode on.
And then today when
From the top again, guys. Let's say that one more time.
no, but
we
then when
love you, Rick.
but then when I have these people here trying to do your job and watching them fumble through it, and Rick would have been done in 3 minutes. Rick, we just love you, man. And I couldn't ask for a better producer. And thank you.
We
Yes,
couldn't
we
ask
could
for a
have.
better
So,
producer.
but what's really cool is Rick is extremely intelligent and also kind of nerdy, and he loves to get into things. So he has a podcast now that I was on. And what is that podcast called?
Defined hasn't come out yet.
So he's coming out with a.
Our big get is getting Renae. Man, once we have that, we're gonna release them.
Once you get Miss Renae, you'll release them. Well, I'm excited about your podcast, sir. And then, did I read correctly that you and your show have made it in little awards?
We're front runners for the Critic Award. Yeah.
So congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Which I'm not surprised. You're a very talented guy. So the Rick Love Fest is over. I just wanted I no,
That's all you get.
I just wanted to tell you we love you, man. And Rick, sometimes because you are such a giving person, and it happens to me too. I don't ask for anything. I just work, and then people tend not to say thank you because I do it out of the kindness of my heart. I think you're the same way.
Rick just always makes it happen.
Yes.
And he always makes it look like he has it under control, even when he is so pressed for time
Yes.
and
So-
so worn thin. He just makes it happen.
So I just wanted to tell you, Rick, that you do not go unnoticed and that we love you. So with that being said,
Yes.
now I can make fun of you.
Oh, okay.
No, you look.
Moving right along. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
No, you are beautiful. You know.
Are you
you
going
are.
to make fun of my ballerina bun?
You are
My
beautiful.
bright red lips.
You know how
What?
much I tell you. But if you had a basket of fruit on your head right now, it would it would set.
I need
it
some
would set it
banana
off.
earrings.
Yeah, it would set it off. But you
I'll
absolutely.
do it for you later.
You
baby.
absolutely look beautiful.
I'll put
and
some fruit on my head later.
I was laughing today because, and by the way, zero plan for this podcast. I was laughing
Oh, we
today.
have so much to talk about.
So I was on the mat getting ready to do jujitsu with Chief, and then you walk in with containers. So then, of course, I record, more containers, right? And I put it on my Instagram, and then comments come in, and most people are like, oh, ha, ha, ha. But this one dude was like, leave her alone. She's working, and she's working hard. Give her a break, dude. And I'm like, first of all, I never said you don't work hard. Second of all, I will never give you a break. Third of all, I think that we have a great relationship because we do laugh and we do make fun of each other and we
Yes.
do give each other a hard time. And I think some couples tend to be a little too sensitive and they don't treat each other like friends.
Yeah.
You know?
The sensitivity, I mean, like you making fun of me and picking on me doesn't bother me at all. I think the only thing that really gets under my skin, and you and I have talked about this, is when I feel like you are speaking poorly about me to someone else. I'm like, don't throw me under the bus.
I don't speak poorly about you, but
No, I'm not. I mean, you haven't done it in forever. I
do tell people
Did I just dig a little by bringing it up?
No, I do tell people that you wear me the fuck out, and but.
But that's also true. It works both ways.
But it is, I love being on the road. I love doing shows, and I love talking to people afterwards. And one of my favorite things is when a woman comes to me and says, oh my God, my husband is the organizer. My husband is the container person.
The OCD.
The
It's
OCD.
OCD. That's what it
But
is.
that's what I told her. I go, it is not male-female all the time. It is your personality traits versus my personality traits.
Yes, absolutely.
And personality traits are not necessarily male or female.
No.
However, for the most part, the female trait of organizing and containers and all that.
Well, I think the way you're telling the story, you're depicting my characteristics in the home, which is primarily female.
Yeah, and that joke in particular where I go, look, we're different people. She is this, I'm this, we're that. And in that joke, I think that you do see that, even though I poke fun, it does turn out to be a good team.
Yes.
Right? Because I am not organized and you are.
Yeah.
And that helps.
Uh-huh.
I am the bigger picture guy. You're the details.
Oh my God.
Right?
If you're on the road and I come out to meet you, that hotel room is a disaster.
Well, it's weird because I like it, at my house, I want everything perfect. And the hotel, I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a shit, right? But it is definitely, my stand-up is more about my personality versus your personality.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes your personality is more conducive to somebody else who happens to be male. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time, because I think I know what you're saying, but say it one more time.
That sometimes your traits can be male traits.
More male dominant? Yes. You know
can
what?
be.
My girlfriend Amy said this the other day in the car. She said the way her friendships are, she is male in her approach to friendships in that. And I thought that was so interesting because I was like, oh, actually, I think I kind of am too. Like, we don't call constantly. We don't have to have big old long conversations. But when we call each other, we know, hey, I'm here if you need me. You're here. You're there if I need you. Good. We're
right.
Good.
Well, but you look at somebody like Gabriel Leal and Lori Leal. Lori, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Lori, but Lori is the more assertive, hey, I want to do this weekend. And Gabe is so cool about, hey, man, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Gabe has I'm down, sure, why not? And Lori's like, we're going to Enchanted Rock, and then we're going here. And then, right, am I right or wrong?
Yes, and it's because he knows that I'm not going to give up and I'm going to win anyway, so he might as well just give in.
Yeah, well.
That's what, how many years of marriage will do?
That's
24 almost.
24 years of marriage.
That is
Why waste time?
That
Let's
is
just
most.
go enjoy the trip I want to have.
What did Gigi say? Agree with me.
Yes.
Agree with me. Agree with me. Agree with me. But I mean, I would say that you know, it cracks me up when people go, "Oh, don't make fun of her," and it's like, no, that is our relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a great relationship because
it helps that you making fun of me also pays the bills. I
mean, that helps
enjoy
too.
it
Yeah,
so much if it didn't pay the bills. I don't know.
But I don't know. I think a sense of humor is very important to you.
Yes.
You know, I think that me being funny is important to you, and and I've just loved watching you get funnier.
Yeah.
Like, you've gotten funny and you've learned to like pick up on puns and pick up on wordplay and all the things that comedians do because you've been around comedians.
I've been around comedy for a while
for so long, right?
But also because of that, I have a very firm understanding of what a difficult art it is, and I have so much respect for it. I would never attempt it.
But you know, and I mean, no offense to your family, but your family's not funny.
Yeah, no, they're not.
They're not funny. But the weird part about my family is both sides.
Everyone is funny.
Take a lot of pride in being funny.
And like being the one to have the next zinger.
Right.
Yeah.
Rebecca, is your family funny or?
We're silly, but weird.
But weird?
They're kooky.
Do you find that your sense of humor has improved working here?
It's changed a bit, but I think
She's like, it's dirtier now. It's a little more blue and vulgar.
She's like, I'm always looking for the dick jokes, Steve. But would you say that your sense of humor has evolved a little bit here?
She's like, you think you're evolved, Steve?
I didn't say I was involved. I'm saying that the sense of humor that you had before working here, is it different now that you do work here?
I think it's different with you, and then with different people, I have specific type of humor.
We show different colors to different people. Yeah, she's more vulgar with you, is what she's saying.
So Rebecca is not in a relationship, but what?
Why are we talking about?
No, because
Rebecca's
I have a question for her.
Okay.
Is a sense of humor important to you in a relationship? Yeah? Somebody that's funny or just being able to joke?
Somebody that I can poke fun with also.
Actually, now that you mention it, everyone I dated before you there weren't that many, but the guys I dated before you were all funny.
Oh, you had to
They
have
might not have been the smartest or the best looking, but they were all funny.
And your tradition continues. I am not the smartest and I am not the best looking, but I have great calves, and I'm funny. But it hasn't changed. I don't, and for me, what I thought was important is still important, but not as much. Like, of course, I'm into beautiful women, and you happen to be beautiful, but I really enjoyed the fact that you were so tough when it came to jokes. Like, I could joke with you without you getting, and why did you say that?
Wilting away.
And that hurt my feelings. And I can't, and you are such a strong woman that there's not much, very little makes you mad when it comes to jokes.
Yeah.
Very little. And whatever your parents did to raise you, I would like Delilah to be the same way.
But it's so funny then, because then you're also like, you're so cold-hearted. I wish you were like more emotional. And I'm like, well, which one do you want? Do you want me to be like a sensitive little flower or tough?
Which is a great point when it comes to relationships, right? And it, you're not going to, if you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Yeah.
Right? And that, I think that rings true in a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? You want good looks, they're probably not funny, honey. You want a good-looking guy, they're not. I have a friend and practically a cousin, and people that know me and my family probably know who I'm talking about, but he is extremely good-looking, friend of mine.
Yes.
You know him. And I remember, he's not very funny, but I remember being out with him, and these girls are like talking to us.
Fawning over him.
They're talking to us, but they're like, fanning themselves with how handsome my friend is, right? And it was always happening. Anytime we were together, girls would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? And he's got this kind of Keanu Reeves kind of a thing about him, right? And I remember this girl goes, if you would just stop talking, I'd make out with you. I remember her like, and he was like,
I'm trying to think who you're talking
I remember he just looked at him, he was like, dude, what's your problem, bro? And I'm like, stop talking. Right? And for me, it's like, I need to continue to talk so that maybe she'll make out with me. but it was, I always tell people, man, if you see a comedy poster and those comics are very good looking, don't go to the show.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
It's like Tatum Channing or Channing Tatum. I always mix up his first and his last name trying to do comedy.
I'm trying to think, are there any very handsome, funny people?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan's funny. Yeah. Rebecca was like, She literally bit her lip.
So Rebecca has a type.
Yeah, no, Ryan Reynolds is definitely.
He's good looking and funny.
He is, but he's not a stand-up.
No.
But he is funny.
Not a stand-up. And the guy he owns the new soccer team with or whatever, Rob McElhaney, or what's his last name?
Is he a comic?
He's cute too. He's not a comic, but he's cute. He's funny. Always
funny.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, let's stop talking about cute, funny guys. I thought they didn't exist, but apparently they do.
You're in my list.
And I'm not,
my top 5. Shall I keep going? I'm kidding.
I'm not happy about it. But Gabe has a good sense of humor, right? You guys laugh a lot together?
Yes. And depending on who he's with and what's going on.
Gabe loves to laugh.
Yeah.
Gabe loves.
He dies laughing at every single thing you do.
He loves
It's
it.
obnoxious.
We had growing up, man, I'd make Gabe laugh. And then our jokes would just get so, like, there's nothing better than best friend or cousin humor.
Yes.
Because you can just take it so, like, if you joined us later that afternoon, you would be like, what the fuck are y'all laughing at? Because the inside joke got more inside and more inside and more, and we've taken it so far.
Well, no, it then just becomes giggles. You guys, it just turns into a giggle fest, and you're not even saying anything.
No, me and Gabe would just look at each other, and we're just laughing, and both of you ladies are like, the fuck is y'all's problem? Right? But no, I don't know how we ended up here. But Loving on Rick is how we ended up here. Yeah. We had an amazing podcast last week.
Yeah, I was really, really so happy with how it turned out, and so touched by everyone's support.
Again,
It was beautiful. It was just like the whole evening was so beautiful and was such a different experience. I have to say, I was really feeling the pressure because the Christmas podcast was such a success. We were able to get Jose Trevino. You had Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, there. I mean, we had some big names to draw people in, and we had great auction items. And I was like, holy cow, am I going to be able to get auction items for this event? And
and I stepped back, and I kind of was like, "This is your
go
event.
handle it.
You go handle it."
And I was like, "Do people like me as much as they like Steve? Are they gonna give me auction items?"
No, they like you more. You are a beautiful soul and such a good person, and I don't think you realize how many people love you and care about you and look after you.
Well, thank you. And I was so touched because I just was randomly reaching out to people, sending text messages. And Kristen Johnson, who shoots our family photos, she was so sweet. Not only did she donate something, but she also rounded us up two other items.
And then I felt bad because I chose a really bad time to thank the McCutcheons, and it made a little bit of confusion. So we were first of all, for those of you that don't know, the Mother's Day podcast last week was not only a celebration of mothers, but we were also raising money for foster children here in New Braunfels.
Yes, the organization is New Braunfels Angels, but also to the people who saw it last week, it is a nationwide organization. We just raised money for our local chapter.
For the local chapter here. And Renae had a girlfriend of hers reach out and say that her grandfather was an orphan, and her grandfather lost his parents. Not only did he lose his parents,
during the Depression.
During the Depression, he then turned his life around from nothing to not having parents to becoming one of the most successful businessmen in our area, if not maybe the state.
Yeah.
Very, very hardworking guy, and has turned out to be very, very successful. And his family still honors him. So when they found out that we were doing this, her mother, who was his daughter, went out to a local jewelry store, bought $2,000 earrings, and donated them. So I'd like to give a shout out to them.
Yes, to Sue Ingram, to the Ingram family.
To the Ingram family for doing that. And I screwed up because for whatever reason, I feel...
Your ADD brain.
No,
you were just talking about other
but
stuff.
I feel like the McCutcheons are a lot like Rick, where they're always doing stuff and they don't ask for anything.
Yeah.
And every event in town, they're there donating. Every event in town, they are buying that expensive table. And I wanted to catch a moment to tell the McCutcheons, who you guys have seen on this podcast, gosh, like, thank you for, like, it must be a lot of weight to carry that they're prominent business people here in town, and they always show up to everything.
Well, we know how much you always get hit up for stuff. So I'm sure they do too.
So at the same time that we had the earrings out, I was telling Sarah and the McCutcheons how much we love them, and there was a little bit of confusion. So I want to make it very clear that the Ingrams helped us raise $3,000, and I just want to thank them. And what I'm starting to see that there's a pattern, and the pattern is that foster. Every woman that you meet that fosters says, "Oh, my mom fostered."
Yes.
We come from a family that fostered.
That
right?
understands what that is.
So I just admire that, and it's so interesting to say that you don't realize the kinds of traditions and things in your life that you can then teach your children.
Yeah.
Right? I hope that me and you are teaching our children to be blessed, but to give those blessings back.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that that's what these foster moms are doing, is that they saw other kids being blessed, or they were in the foster system.
I mean, it's a level of social work. I think it's people who come from families where the parents do some sort of social work.
Yeah. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. And I hope that our kids, see us trying to give back. And it was just so overwhelming because not only was it a successful event, my biggest concern when we do these things is, are people having a good time?
This one, I think people had a great time.
That's my only concern.
It was a wonderful event.
My only concern is, did you come out? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy the night with us?
Yes.
You know,
and I was so nervous because I kept saying, like, one of the things we went back and forth with after the Christmas podcast was we had comics. We had like 2 or 3 comics come on stage before we did the podcast. And you don't see that when you watch the podcast. But the feedback we got from the people after the event was we really loved that. We enjoyed having live comedy.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, we got to bring that back. And I kept telling Lori, I was like, Lori, we got to, what comics are we going to get? And she's like, Steve doesn't want them. And I'm like, what are we going to do?
Well, no, me and Lori had a plan. Sunny had reached out and said, hey, you know, the mariachis Campanas.
I believe that's the name.
Campanas de America. He said they would like to donate their time and come out and perform. So I wanted that to be a surprise for you.
It was amazing.
So not only do we have Willie Alvarado, who, God, look him up. His voice is stunning.
Yeah.
Amazing talented man.
Yeah, that's a God.
So
gift.
he sang. You knew about that.
Yes.
And then there's these backsliding doors, and I open them up, and a full mariachi
and
band.
that was so cool to see
came
the
out.
doors open and them come out. And I actually had never seen
The harp.
mariachis with a harp before.
Oh my God, that thing was awesome, dude.
And you don't get to see that in the podcast episode either. But he came up and they had me sit down, and he put the harp like right next to me.
Well, he had you come and sit down. He was
Yes.
like, "This is for you.
And it was like-
Look at my fingers."
Yes, it was like a harp striptease almost.
And I was like,
holy
I
cow,
told
you can do that with the harp.
Renee's girlfriends and our baseball moms. I said, if he starts doing that shit with his tongue, I'm kicking him out. I am kicking him out. But then we kicked it off with the mariachis, and then again, you know, I got to figure out the sound. We got to have better sound.
Well, I got to
figure it out.
This time, the sound for the podcast
Was a little better.
was good. People could hear.
But I'm saying in the room.
But in the room,
you
it
know.
was tough.
So we got to work on that for our. That's the one thing that I think that we had trouble with.
The
and
challenge
then
of a live
you know,
podcast.
Los Fontanas. Gosh, man, if you're pulling through New Braunfels, go to Los Fontanas. Very unique menu. They have quail. They have. I mean, it's kind of Mediterranean, if you
Yeah.
will. Mexican food, and it's delicious.
I don't know if I would describe it as Mediterranean,
Well,
but
because
it is like
not Mediterranean, like Veracruz.
there you go.
Very
'Cause
Veracruz.
They do like the mango ceviche. They do.
The seafood caldo,
Uh-huh.
right? Anyway, thank you, Los Fontanas, for
Delilah's swim teacher this morning, she told me, she goes, I'd never been at that restaurant, Renae. The food was so good. I said, yeah, he's got 2 locations here in town. And he was so generous. He was going to discount the food. And then Israel ended up saying, you know what? This is such a great cause. He donated. He said, don't worry about the food. I just have to cover my staff for the night.
for the tip. Yep. So we ended up raising very close to $30,000.
I think I don't know the final numbers. I think we're somewhere more around the 20,000. But
No. We were 27 when I left.
I thought we were 17.
No, 27.
Oh, we're gonna have to go back and
We're gonna have to find out, but
regardless, Carrie emailed.
Oh my God, Carrie was I almost cried 3 times, and one time was because Carrie was like so overwhelmed, and she just kept. I would see her walking around back there, and she had this like. I mean, it looked like she was so in shock of what was happening, and she goes, our gala that we do to raise money did not raise as much money as you guys did.
Yeah.
So that money is going to go to the local foster care system here in New Braunfels.
Well, she told me, she emailed me back the morning after, and she said she emailed me in the afternoon, the next afternoon, and she said, it has been the most amazing morning of calling families who are on the wait list and telling them that we have a spot for them here in our program. So I just thought that was so cool.
It is an amazing thing. I mean, it's just one of those things where you just go, you know, it took a effort, of course.
Yeah.
We want to do the podcast. We like doing it live. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But to also be able to raise money like that.
Yeah.
To really make a
But
difference.
it speaks volumes about our community, you know, that we
have a great community, and you know, through baseball, we have gathered so many great baseball parents, you know.
Friends in our neighborhood, so many people from our neighborhood came out.
I mean, even though this baseball season has been a fucking nightmare with certain situations, and God, it's been a disaster with this season, and it was crazy because there were the parents on our team before that knew who we are, not just as comedians, but as people.
Yeah.
And then we had a whole other group join, and then we had all this crazy shit happen, and people not truly understanding who me and you were. I love the fact that, you know, that night, several of those other moms were like, oh, wow, we didn't know this about you and Renae, that you guys like doing stuff like this. That's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I'm not a bad person. I know that people fucking in our baseball team think that I'm a problem. I'm not, but it's been a fucking disaster. Anyway, it turned out to be a beautiful night, and the baseball moms I talked to Travis. He goes, dude, he was like, I was up. Well, so Tuesday night, we had a haul ass.
We ended up, well, so we haven't talked about this in the podcast. On top of everything else, we're planning this event, and we can't take a shower because our house has no running water. We can't flush the toilets. We can't shower. We have everyone who comes to work here in our home, and we're all getting buckets out of the pool to flush the toilet.
And like I said, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Hold on.
So
This is a great call. Hold on. Johnny Sanchez, you're on the podcast. Hey, buddy.
What?
We're right in the middle of the podcast. Johnny, we're just about to talk about you and our great weekend, buddy.
Oh, my God. Dude, well, you know that the flight back for me was brutal, though, right? The one I went on my own was like 3 hour delayed.
Well, why are you mad at me? I don't understand.
Move to Texas.
Hey, I gotta yell at somebody, dude. No, check this out. I had a 2.5 hour layover, and then it became a 3 hour delay on top of that.
Oh,
I sat at that airport for 5 hours.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Johnny. That sucks.
Oh my God, I had nothing to do with it. It was the maintenance thing again, and but I was lucky to get on, dude. They were gonna cancel the flight because of some. Dude, that's what I said. So anyway, Sunday I was so dead. Yesterday I was still tired, but what a fun weekend, man. That was a lot of fun. Did you talk about the dude that
Not yet. Not yet. We're not that's why we were gonna get there, buddy. We were gonna get there.
Okay, you're gonna get there. Yeah. Okay, no worries. Well, listen, man, I don't want to keep you, I want you to oh, wait a minute, man. Somebody wants to say hi real quick. Hold on, real quick. I think you know this guy. Hold on. Orale, wait. I'm on the air or what, homie?
Oh, it's Little Joker from Mad TV.
Hey, Nacho Hernandez, a.k.a. Little Joker. Check it out, hey. Hey, let me get a shout out to my family, homie.
Okay.
Go Raiders. Orale, what's up, hey? All right, that's enough with that guy. That's enough.
Get him off the phone, bro.
Get him off the phone. Anyway, listen, we'll talk later, man. Have a great podcast.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, bro. Okay, see ya.
Oh, that was Johnny, man. He's so great, and
This was his first weekend out on the road with you, right?
well, we had some a long time ago. We would do stuff
But
together.
I mean recently, like this tour.
Yes.
Was this the first weekend?
But we're gonna get to Johnny.
Okay.
Let's where were we?
What were we talking about? The Mother's Day podcast.
Yes.
Still? Yes. No, it was just awesome. And Kyla was there braiding mom's hair and Kyla Ramirez, my girlfriend, and putting flowers in the hair. So that was just beautiful too, to see all these women.
Oh man, it was
their hair done.
a truly a beautiful night. And then that night, that's what no water.
Oh, no water. That's what we were talking about. So we were like, why are we going to come back to our house that has no water?
So we have a water well here at our house. We do not have city water. We have a water well, and it has truly been a learning process for me.
How to maintain
how to maintain it and how it all works, and then shocking the well, and then because it's well water, there's a sulfur smell to it that smells kind of like rotten eggs. So then I have a filtration system
too.
I'm getting to that. I have a filtration system so that when it comes out of the water, and then from there it goes to our house, then it gets filtered in our house. Then it goes through a black light to kill all the bad shit system. Anyway, it's really been a learning process. Yeah. However, I am still not at the point where I go, fuck it, I want city water. I love having a water well. However, we put in a new pump because it had clogged up. That pump is now clogged up. So now...
Less than a year later.
Less than a year later. So it clogged up. Wasn't working. Then I'm building a driveway that goes out there. So as the pump is breaking, I can't get a truck out there until the concrete's poured and cured.
And it's raining. It's
raining.
Thunderstorming.
So we finally figured out the problem. We are now disinfecting or cleaning the whole well.
Today is a week without water.
Yes. But thank God for great neighbors.
I'm good, yeah. I got to shower today.
Mike and Christina are the freaking best neighbors you could have. And he was like, dude, just steal our water. So we took water from him, put it in our tanks, and we now have water. And then tomorrow we should be good. So, But Tuesday night we decided, okay, I gotta be in Corpus Christi, Texas to do the rodeo.
The next day.
The next day on Wednesday. Oh my gosh.
So we had the nanny come and meet us at the venue with the car packed and the kids loaded. And as soon as the Mother's Day podcast was over, we kind of wrapped up what we needed to.
Oh my gosh, dude! And then Miss Lori was there helping, and Kyle was helping, and Timmy was helping.
Rebecca came with us.
Jake, of course, like Jake's always comes in clutch.
Well, because Jake was at the Mother's Day event too, just kind of being an extra set of hands, and then went to Corpus for the.
But you have the promoters, which is Buck Days.
Yes.
The parade people and the festival people for the city, and then you have the venue. Those are two separate things. We're turning in backstage passes and tickets to Buck Days. Buck Days is not communicating with the venue. The venue doesn't know what's going on. My dad's calling because my friends want to go backstage, and then my cousins are calling.
It's a huge venue. It's not like come around the back door right here. It's like a massive venue. And even my folks were like, because they had seats in their tickets, and same thing. Can we have some friends? Can we bring them backstage? I was like, you can, but I don't know where your seats are, and I don't know how to get you there. And once you come out, I don't know how to get you back here. I was I am lost.
Lori's trying to solve problems. Timmy's trying to solve problems. Kyle's trying to solve problems. Rebecca's chasing children around. Me and you are trying to entertain.
And Garrett's mutton busting before you
Garrett's
go on
gonna mutton bust. Garrett's got to change. Garrett's gonna sing. Delilah wants her daddy. And daddy. And I'm like, dude, I got to go on stage.
And we always need sight of where the nearest restroom is.
But man, I was so nervous. I haven't been nervous in so long.
Someone asked me if you were nervous, and I said, he doesn't really get nervous.
I'm not nervous about getting on stage. I'm not nervous about my material. I was nervous because I'd never done a situation like that. So what happens is the rodeo ring's in the center. They bring the stage down. They put 160 seats. That's it.
It's
in front of me.
suspended in the ceiling.
The stage. Yeah. And then it comes down onto the dirt. They put 160 seats in front of me, but we sold almost 6,000 tickets.
Well, that was my concern too, is everyone filled down, but then you have this
a huge gap.
Whole open area, and then it's the back of the arena.
So my concern was, does this work for stand-up? Right?
Yeah.
That's why I was worried.
Yes.
And thank God for Steve Simone, because Steve Simone is such a pro, right? And people were like, ooh, he had a hard time in the beginning. I'm like, he did, but if he would not have been a pro, he would not have been able to handle that situation. He wouldn't have been able to handle the situation.
He had them.
Finally, at the end, they were on his side, but he only had 15 minutes.
But you also you only have 15 minutes, and you have people who have been watching a rodeo, and it's loud.
Oh, I don't go on stage until on a Wednesday night till 9:30, and they've been there since 7.
Yeah.
3 hours of watching a rodeo to then watch an opening act to then finally I go on stage. Yeah. And then that was my other concern is, oh my God, are there people here for the rodeo and not me?
Oh, I haven't had a chance to tell you. You went on to your road gig, but the kids and I stayed in Rockport, and I ran into one of our neighbors, Kendall, and he was there, and he said, I was so proud and so happy for Steve. He was enjoying watching everyone around him. He had the same concerns you did. He was like, how is this going to go over? Do people know people? Do people know what they're getting into? He had friends who had never seen you before, who didn't know you, and they were like, oh my gosh, I have to watch all of this guy's stuff. And he said everyone around him was totally into it. And he said they were on the other side of the arena too.
Right.
And he said, no, people were into it. They were engaged. They were laughing. They were hitting their spouses.
Awesome.
Everybody was all about it. And more people came in after the rodeo. Like, you drew more people after the rodeo.
Awesome.
It wasn't people leaving, it was people coming in.
And then, what was really cool, and you guys met him here on the podcast, Josh Frost was riding in that rodeo, I was laughing because in the rodeo before that, it basically qualified him for the finals. The rodeo before that, he won $50,000, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how they announce, they're like, this guy, Josh Frost, he's made over $1 million this year, right? I told Josh, I go, that would be the weirdest feeling,
Yeah.
right? That after my show, they take a picture of me and my big check.
Yeah, your lottery check.
Look what I made, guys, right? Yeah. But that's what they do with rodeo guys. Like, he had to take a picture with his $50,000 that he won the 2 days before. And then, of course, Buck Days puts it on the social media. Yeah. And I'm like, well, fuck, man, what if every job did that? Right? Like, you hold your check up. Look what I did, right? Yeah. It was just the weirdest thing. But it was cool that night, he was the only one to
stay on 8 seconds.
To stay on 8 seconds.
You know what was so cool? So Buck Days put us like right above the chutes. So the kids and I were able to literally see them get on the bull and like come out, and you could feel.
Dude, Garrett and I were next to we could smell the bull.
Well, so when the gate would fling open, it would hit on this other side,
feel it.
And we were the platform above that, and you would like feel it shake. But I remember when Josh and his wife were on the podcast, and she was talking about how she was seeing Josh's mental coach, or I can't remember what she referred to him as, but I felt like Josh was a different person.
Oh, 1,000%.
When he gets on, even when he gets off that bull for a second, you can tell he is like still in the zone.
Josh is one of the most humble human beings I've ever met.
Yeah.
You meet the guy, and he's very, very sweet and very humble, very quiet, very kind.
Yeah. But when he gets off that bull, he's a different person.
He doesn't walk around with his chest puffed out. He doesn't.
Oh, when he got off that bull,
that's what I mean.
Sure did. He was a different person.
He got off and he was proud and somewhat braggadocious.
A showman.
And oh, let's go, right? But I could imagine after fucking riding a bull for 8 seconds that your adrenaline's rushing, right? But that was cool for me to watch. That it was crazy. If you don't know him, you would think, God, I bet you that guy's super intense.
And he's not.
He's just kind and sweet, and almost meek. He's almost like, hey, man, thank you, and just very sweet. So it was really cool to see him, get prepared and do his show, right, and do what he's really good at.
Yeah.
And me to be able to walk on stage, and then Garrett sang, Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA."
Oh, I got so many Instagram messages from people who like got video of it, and
I'm
people who said he made me cry.
Oh, I'm always so proud when he sings. But that night to hear, people pulled their phones out and turned their lights on.
That was really cool to see.
I rarely ever, take the time on stage. I'm usually very professional. I'm like, all right, well, that was Garrett Trevino. Thank you guys. But man, I got on a knee and gave him the biggest hug because it was just a real proud daddy moment for me. And
to see his face on the big old jumbotron in the middle.
And to be 7 years old and to perform on that stage in front of 6,000 people, that's pretty fucking awesome. And but on the
know what I thought was so funny? Just really quick, literally the day before, we're watching his little school performance, and he is like so serious.
He wasn't into it,
saying all the words, and then like there's other kids who are like doing all the dancing and the hand movements around him, and he's just like,
well, he was also
his foot and being really serious.
He was also disappointed because he did not get a solo.
Well, no one did.
I know.
There were no solos.
Because nowadays, God forbid, one kid gets a solo, and then the other kid doesn't get a solo.
I don't know how you can do that.
And then the mom bitches, why did he get a solo? My kid's talented. It's a fucking disaster.
I just thought it was funny that at his school performance, he was so like, it was only in front of the kids at school. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was because it was the kids from school. But he was
he is getting too cool for school. But one of my favorite things, and you're going to hate that I say this, is that he failed miserably at mutton busting.
Oh.
And Garrett has done mutton busting twice. And Garrett truly is a very tough kid.
Yeah.
Not only is he tough, he's very strong, he's athletic, and everything that fucking kid does.
He wants to do well.
But he does everything well. He's, really good at baseball. He's really good at football. He's very, very good at the things that he does. And even like when we're playing pickleball, the kid's one of the only kids out there that can really play pickleball. because he just picked it up.
Yeah.
Right. So when he did the mutton busting, he was ready. He was like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. Dad, I'm gonna win. And he got poor kid drew the worst sheep. I will say that sheep was rowdy.
He couldn't even get on it in the thing.
In the chute.
It was like turning around. They had to turn him around the right way
So
to
as
get
soon
out.
as they opened the gate, that freaking sheep hung a left and knocked him off. And poor kid was devastated. But I was like, you know what? You need a little humble pie every once in a while.
Yeah.
And you need to know what it feels like to not be good at something. You need to know what it feels like to lose.
I'm curious
You know?
to see if he wants to mutton bust again.
Dude,
Because we have the one here in New Braunfels in September.
one of the things that I drive into his brain
Yeah.
all the time is hard work and never quit, right? And I always tell him, if you want to be the best,
Yeah.
you have to practice and you have to put in the time. So immediately he goes, find me a practice sheep. He goes, I got to practice. I got to practice, Dad. Where can I practice? I gotta win. And I'm like, buddy, hey, you know what? Maybe mutton busting's not your thing.
Yeah.
And maybe you lost. No, find me a sheep to practice with. So I love the fact that he got beat and he lost and he found out what it feels like to be bad at something.
Yeah.
And lose. Yet he still said, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, even the first time he did it, this was 2 years ago. He was only 5 and he got stepped on his chicken nuggets.
Yeah. The sheep stepped on my chicken nuggets.
That's what he calls them, chicken nuggets. He goes, they stepped on my chicken nuggets. Right. But even then, after that, he still had the courage to do it again
Yeah.
and want to win. So that's what made me proud about it. But I was happy that he lost.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you know.
And a big old arena like that too. Like when he did it here in our little county fair, it's a little wooden bleachers and a small venue. This was.
And
a
he
big
told
deal,
me, he
this mutton
goes,
busting.
I go, son, I'm proud of you. And he goes, no, you're not. I go, I'm proud of you. And he goes, you would have been more proud if I had won. I said, no, big difference. I said, I would have been very happy for you had you won. I said, my pride for you is the same. I'm so proud of you that you had the courage to get back on. I'm proud of you that you don't want to quit and that you're not giving up. That pride is the same. Would I have been happier if you would have won? Had we been high-fiving and laughing and having a good time? Yes, but that doesn't change how much more proud I would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same with baseball, man. I mean, yes, Garrett is the shortstop and probably the best defender on the team, but Garrett's not the best hitter.
Yeah.
Garrett doesn't hit the best, right? And
Yeah.
that doesn't change that I don't think I'm not proud of him.
Right. Well, listen,
You
when
know?
he comes home with that end of the year report card, we got to make a big deal out of that too.
He's kicking ass.
We're going to go celebrate that too.
But it was a wonderful experience. Then Thursday off, me, you, and the family in Rockport. The golf cart shit the bed, the Captain Evil golf cart. So I had to figure that out.
Oh, but I got to say, Harbor Carts, thank you. They picked it up in the morning, fixed it, brought it back in the evening.
So that you could use it. I didn't get to use
Yes.
it. But and then I got to fish with Garrett in the evening and then off to Wisconsin.
Yes.
Dude. Milwaukee, always great. Great town.
I've never done either one.
Milwaukee's a great town.
Yeah.
And the show was absolutely phenomenal.
A great town for adults, or you think cool with kids too?
It's one of those, to me, a famous American city,
Yeah.
right? It's Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You know,
I think beer.
right? The Brewers. But I don't know. I mean, would it be a great town to visit if on a whim or if we're on tour and it works out? Yes. Not go out of your way to go to Milwaukee. But Wisconsin people are just as friendly, if not more friendly than Texans.
Yeah.
Super friendly people, super nice people. The shows were amazing. People are always polite when I go to Milwaukee and just great people. And the show was freaking awesome. And then afterwards, Miss Lori, I don't know why she did that, babe, but she made us stay in a hotel casino. She made us. She books
There
the hotels.
were no other rooms available.
No.
I'm sure that was the only place.
She
could
insisted.
find
She
a
insisted.
room.
And
As long as you can lay your weary head, babe.
dude, I don't even know if I should tell this story. Oh my God. Johnny and I get there. We set up. Within 2 minutes of us starting to play craps, a guy behind us on a blackjack table, falls over, and dies.
Is this a joke? How do you know? I mean,
'Cause
I
I-
guess because the paramedics and everyone. Oh.
We didn't know what to do.
Talk about killing the vibe. You say Captain
Dude.
Evil ruins the energy at the table. What did
Like, I mean, the first 10 minutes, you're like, oh, this guy's drunk, fell off his chair. Because he wasn't even that old,
Yeah.
right? And then you're playing craps, and then you're like, okay, paramedics are coming. Oh, shit.
What did
right?
everyone do? They just like left him there on the floor?
No. Like, immediately security came. Here's what I'll say to move on, because it was fucked up. It was fucking crazy. But here's what I will say to all the first responders.
Yeah.
The effort that they put in to try to save this man's life was beautiful to watch. And to think that these people do this daily. So when things got real, I left.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay,
He's not drunk.
so then they bring these little partitions to put around him, right? And paramedics and everybody's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else,
Yeah.
right? So me, Johnny, and Timmy, we go and we sit at the bar, take a break from gambling, right? Have some drinks,
Yeah.
and then we kind of wander off and fuck around a little bit, and we play a little bit of slots, and then we're laughing, having drinks. An hour later, we walk past. The paramedics are still working on this guy. Now they've got things attached to him. I mean,
Yeah.
for an hour and a half, these amazing, amazing first responders worked their butts off to try to save this guy's life. And it made me go, it gave me faith, right? And it makes you realize that somebody's life is in your hands,
Yeah.
but this is your job every day.
Yeah.
I could imagine that it would get like, look, he's dead. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like to where you go, I've been here before. It's not worth trying. No, the effort that these first responders put in, because it was shocking to me
Yeah.
that probably an hour later, when we walked past again, I was like, oh my God, they're
Well,
still
at the
trying.
same time, they must also experience miracles, moments that catch them by surprise too.
Right. But it was just beautiful to see the effort and the passion in which these first responders were trying to save this guy's life.
Yeah.
You know, so we left, went to bed. We got to be in Green Bay. Go to Green Bay. Lori puts us in another casino. I was so pissed.
On the wrong night.
Oh, yeah, you did fuck that up. I wasn't going to say that, Lori, but yes, we did not have rooms when we got there. But
Oh, funny. The casino still had extra rooms? They were
no,
still
actually, it was a Marriott, and it literally was walking distance to the
I was
airport.
like, there's a casino and a Marriott?
And you could walk to the airport. It was perfect. So, Lori, you could not have picked a better situation. And even if there was other hotels, I would have been mad at you because I'd have been like, why wouldn't you put us there so we can walk to the airport? Anyway, get an Uber to go to the venue. The guy picks us up, and he was like, you guys okay? And me and Johnny were like, yeah, I don't know if we are, man. Like, last night, we're playing craps. Some dude died,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, oh, I work at that casino. It happens every day. I go, what? He goes, at least 2-3 times a week. Somebody dies in our casino.
What?
And I was
Why?
like, what? That's my thing. And he goes, dude, he's like, we attract a lot of old people. Most of them are smokers. Most of them are drinkers.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, yeah, he's like 2-3 times a week. Somebody dies.
Living life hard.
I go, how come I never see it? And they go, well, he goes, they do a really good job of, and then now that I remember, like at the other one, they brought in these partitions,
Yeah.
right? They brought in these little things to cover everything,
Yeah.
and they had security all around it, right? So I would assume
If you didn't see it happen.
if you didn't see
could
what
pass
happened,
by and
you're just
not
walking
know.
by going, oh, they're fixing something or whatever. And I think, well, shit, maybe how many times are we in Vegas that we walk by something
Yeah.
and not even realize that something serious is going out.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say that the guy crapped out. Too soon? No? No? You laughing. You're laughing. You're laughing. And you're laughing. I get uncomfortable. I make bad jokes.
Yes, you do. You are notorious for making bad jokes when you're uncomfortable. And like, I don't even know how to say
No, because
when
I get to a place where I'm getting emotional, I'm like, okay, say something funny. Say something funny. Say something funny. Crapped out. He shouldn't have doubled down. So bad. But this was the first time in a very long time that I got to hang out with Johnny Sanchez. Johnny was one of those guys. When I moved to LA, he was already doing it. God, he was funny.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that 10% of the comedians in LA, I would go, oh God, that guy's funny.
Where's
Right.
Johnny from originally?
From the like Fresno area, right? Central Valley.
Yeah.
Right. But I remember seeing him going, oh my God, this guy's really funny.
Yeah.
His characters are amazing. His impressions, I mean, just amazing. I remember thinking to myself, God, man, this guy deserves to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is stupid talented, right? And he ends up 2012, 13 maybe, 14, I don't know, somewhere around there. Finally gets cast to be on Mad TV.
Yeah.
Finally. And I remember feeling for him joy, feeling happiness for him. And if I'm being completely honest, there are guys that would get something, and I would go, why that guy? Fuck that guy. That guy's a bad person. That guy's not that funny.
Yeah.
You know, that's being honest.
Yeah.
I don't have those thoughts anymore. I could care less. I have grown from that. I'm saying at that time in my career,
Yeah.
I did have a hater mentality of like, why the fuck that guy? And now it all works out in the wash. I have learned that guy that got something too early or that wasn't talented or that was a dick, it all fucking works out in the end, right? But back then, I would see somebody and go, that guy? That fucking guy?
Yeah.
You know, with Johnny, I remember going, fuck yeah, that guy. That guy deserves it. That guy works hard. That guy's talented. That guy's a good person. He deserves it. So I was so happy for Johnny when he got Mad TV.
Yeah.
And one of his characters, the little Joker that he did, please look it up. It's fucking hilarious. Has gone viral on TikTok, right?
Uh-huh.
But a year later, it gets canceled.
Mad TV.
Mad TV gets canceled. And for him, it was back to the grind,
Yeah.
right? So again, when I started doing this theater tour, I thought, man, I want to bring with me some monsters. I want people to come to the theater shows and go, wow, what an amazing show. So I invited Johnny. And I didn't realize this about Johnny, but man, Johnny gets very nervous. Like, he was like, Steve, you're not nervous? Hey, bro, dude, bro. Like, he's like walking, he's pacing. You know, I'm like, hey, man, we bought burgers. You want a burger? I can't eat.
Yeah.
Super nervous. And then he walks on stage and just fucking annihilates. So Johnny was with me the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And, God, it was an amazing show. So those of you that came to that show, please follow Johnny Sanchez. Very, very funny guy. We're going to have him this weekend in Nashville and Atlanta with us.
I love both those cities. I'm bummed I'm not going.
So why don't you come? Oh, Garrett has a baseball tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 more baseball tournaments for Garrett.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to deal with this fucking team anymore. Moving on. Moving on. But I'm so excited to have Johnny on the road. And then we're really trying to bring out some really heavy hitters. You know, we had Jimmy Schubert. We had Mike Young.
Yeah.
Now we have Johnny Sanchez. I think the week after that, we're going to have good old Flippy back. Flip's, a pro and hilarious.
Yeah.
And
It's so good to see Steve Simone, too, at the rodeo.
Simone was so good at the rodeo, man. That dude is amazing.
I like that. Catching up with old friends on this theater tour.
Yep. And Johnny's just, he's a class act, man. And, you know, easy to deal with, you know, no problems. We got to the hotel Saturday, and this is not a dig at Lori, but there was no rooms, right? And so I went ahead and checked in, and then the lady made a mistake, and Johnny thought he was just giving incidentals, and she ended up charging Johnny for the room. And then Johnny didn't care. He was like, hey, man, I'll just, you know, reimburse me. Don't even worry about it. You know, he was just so easy and cool about it all. And we were talking about, you know, how we struggled so much that there's such an advantage to that.
Yeah.
There's such an advantage to
a perspective that comes
with it. Because he's like, bro, you know how many tours I've been on where they're like, hey, we got a suite for you guys. Like, what do you mean you guys? Well, you know, that way that we get one room. And then all 6 of you can sleep in the suite, you know. I mean, I did that shit. We would do that shit, you know. Yeah. Well, you grab a couch, you grab a chair, you get the bed, who gets the bed, who sleeps on the floor, and we'd all be there happy, right? Oh, we're doing it. This is fucking cool. And now I get these young guys that go on the road. Well, where's my room? I don't get my room, you know. And it's like, oh my gosh, just be happy to be here. Yeah. So, you know, Johnny having that perspective, something like that, he was like, I don't care. I'm not worried about it, you know. But we did have a wonderful weekend. Week, really. I mean, it was a
long week for you between the podcast and the rodeo and then going on tour. It was a long stretch for you.
So, with that being said, I want to wrap it up, and I do want to say one thing because we always talk about veterans. We talk about helicopters for heroes. Oh, shoot, we got to talk about Norwegian.
Yes,
dude, are you a veteran? We convinced Norwegian to give us a free cruise for one of you.
No, it's not just a cruise.
They're going fucking all out.
They're going to get 2 plane tickets.
To New York to see me perform.
They get their hotel
backstage passes
that night. You're performing at Town Hall. And then the next day, they leave on a 7-day cruise, courtesy of Norwegian Cruise Lines up the Eastern Seaboard.
Courtesy of Norwegian Cruise Lines, Helicopters for Heroes, and me and Captain Evil. So we are so excited. You can sign up by going to stevetrevino.com. There will be a button there for you to enter to win.
If you are a vet, active military, or spouse of a vet or active military.
Because if you're a veteran, you don't cruise with anybody else but Norwegian. They care about you. They make efforts to care about you. They give you discounts. Buy one plane ticket, get the other one for free. It's amazing what they're doing. So I wanted to make sure to say that. Pick Cherries, of course. They have done giveaways for us as well. Please, please, please download the app Pick Cherries. A lot of you are like me. You just don't know where to go to listen to podcasts. You don't know how to get into listening to podcasts.
Pick Cherries has this amazing, cool catalog. It's by category.
Yep, crime, comedy, sports. I mean,
and no ads.
No ads. So download Pick Cherries. Old Salt Coffee, had it this morning. Absolutely delicious. OldSaltCoffee.com. Trevino 10 is the discount code. Please, if you're going to get coffee, support veterans. And then, of course, Aztec Chevrolet. God, I love those people. You know, we have become such good friends with those people.
Driving back and forth through South Texas, when I pass them on the freeway, I just, like, when I pass Aztec Chevrolet, I just want to, like, honk the horn and be like, I can't stop because I have the kiddos, but I'm here.
And Aztec is expanding their footprint. And I don't want to talk about it yet, but there is going to be another location to give these people business. So I'm super, super excited to make that announcement soon. Maybe our next live podcast will be over there. Oh. So I'm very excited about it. And I wanted to wrap it up like this. You don't have to have money. You don't have to have a podcast. You don't have to go out of your way. But bringing awareness is something that you can do for free. There are so many things that I did not know about the foster system. I did not know that in Comal County alone, we have 400 children in foster care. 400.
Yeah.
And we don't see it. We don't talk about it. 4,000 within a 50-mile radius. 4,000 children.
Yeah.
that the scary part is that when they're 18, there's no more help.
And that was what was so eye-opening when I talked to Carrie, is I never thought about it. She said, whatever your cause is, if it's homelessness, if it is...
It all comes from the foster care.
If it's sex trafficking, 70% was the statistic.
Foster kids.
Yeah. So she's like, it funnels in. We have to take care of these children.
And what the state of Texas has done is that they have given these kids the opportunity to go to a state school for free.
Yeah.
So,
but most of them don't graduate.
That's what I was going to say.
They don't have the support system.
That's the hard part, right? Is, hey, you have this free college, but can you even handle the free college?
How do we get you there?
So helping the foster care system to hopefully give them the resources that they need and the help that they need so that they can then take advantage of the fact that they can go to college for free. So just make yourself aware of your community, what's going on in your community, and just letting people know at the very least that, hey, there's a lot of foster kids in our neighborhood, so that way come Christmas, it rings somebody's doorbell and says, oh, maybe I should also buy those toys for the foster home here in town. Maybe I should do a little something, right?
I was thinking we make such a big deal out of Easter. I think that maybe instead of doing a Mother's Day event next year with New Braunfels Angels, I think maybe in our family, in our community, I want to do something around Easter for those kids. Maybe we make Easter baskets or something.
Well, how about even better than that? Because we have such an amazing Easter party, having them bring 6 to 8 foster kids for an hour to do the bouncy house and the cotton candy and the popcorn and the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah,
and the
we gotta figure it out.
piñata,
But we'll do something for Easter.
Yes, we got to do something special. So we love you guys so very much for listening, for being on our team, and we hope to continue to gather more human beings like you, because we are making a difference. Thank you so much for supporting, for watching, for loving us. We love you. As always, my wife is absolutely beautiful. Happy Mother's Day, because I got you a Peloton. You were such a dick,
Keep my ass in shape.
You were such a dick.
How was I a dick?
Because I told you, I go, your Mother's Day gift was I gave you flowers in front of everybody at the Wednesday show. And then you were like, oh, thank you. And then when I surprised you with the Peloton, you're like, you just told me that all I got was flowers. Thank you. Finally, I got something nice. I was like, dude.
No, I love flowers. I absolutely love flowers. My grandma and my mama always said, you give flowers to people when they are alive, not when they're dead. So I love flowers and I love receiving them. But I don't need the big displays. I don't need the flowers on stage in front of 5,000 people like that. I don't need
You
it.
say that, and I understand that, and I don't disagree. However, if I don't acknowledge you at all, there's going to come a moment where you're like, well, what the fuck? Like,
You acknowledge me every time you go up on stage and talk shit about me. I feel plenty acknowledged. I'm good.
So I would like you guys to kick Renae's ass on the Peloton. If you have a Peloton bike, what is your call sign?
Captain Evil was taken. So I.
What?
Yes.
No.
I was taken. So
Who are you?
Who
Who are you? Give it back.
So I am Renae with an A.
I am Renae with an A. Spell it all out.
Oh no, it's just Renae with an A. It's just Renae with
Renae.
With WITH and AN and then the letter A. Renae with an A.
Okay, so kick her ass on the Peloton. I would love to hear all the stories. Send her comments. Shit on her. Pick on her. I love you, honey. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Was Rick still there?
What's that?
I didn't know. We didn't know. We went long. We didn't know if you were still there.
That was a good one.